Welcome back, Prospect football fans. This is week 5 of Prospect Football Weekly. I'm your host, Jack Ankeny, and again, we are joined by Coach Sebastian. So, Coach, we will now review the team's week 4 loss to Highland Park. So, against Highland Park, what do you think made it so difficult to stop their offense?
We just didn't play very well all around. I think the entire game, we struggled to kind of get ourselves moving in the right direction initially. We struggled to kind of recover. We had a moment there where we thought maybe we were going to be able to kind of get back in the ball game, and unfortunately gave away a late field goal. And the second half, it just never kind of got started. Every time we try to get something moving, it just kind of slowed down and bogged down. And Highland Park, outplayed us. Highland Park out-physicaled us. It was pretty straightforward. So it's one of those that you kind of just you deal with and you move forward. And I think we dealt with it on Saturday, and we've really moved forward. We've kind of said, look, it is what it is. We're into a new season. We have 5 games in our division that we're worried about at this point, and it starts with week 1 against Buffalo Grove, and that's all we're really focused on at this point.
Okay. What specific factors do you think contributed them to getting out to a bit of an early lead?
I think they executed their game plan very well, and we unfortunately, I think for the first time this year, defensively struggled to execute ours. Offensively, I think we moved the ball early, but then we kind of shot ourselves in the foot, and then we struggled to execute as time went on, and their defense did a very nice job of kind of putting us in situations where we had to make a couple plays on the edge, and we did not do as well as we had hoped to do with that. So, again, it's one of those, you learn from it and you move forward.
Okay. So, looking back at the film, what do you think the team could have done to combat their offense?
I think we could have done a better job probably rallying the ball in terms of our tackling. We did not. First 3 weeks we did a really good job with that. I think we just had an off night, and sometimes you have off nights, and when that happens, you just, again, I think you move forward. If you keep dwelling on it, you're only going to make it worse. So that's what we've done at this point. We move forward, and we've decided we're going to go play football against Buffalo Grove High School, and that's going to be our focus.
Okay. How can you learn from this game to get better for next week?
I think by evaluating where things went well. I think we've tried to learn from the last 4 weeks as a whole, and where we're at, and hopefully we can, use the good and the bad to try to get ourselves better. I think all of us made good decisions, over the last 4 weeks, and all of us, and I include our coaching staff, I include, the kids, I include everyone in that. We've all made mistakes. So what do we learn from those things, and how do we continue to improve as a collective whole, I think is really what we're trying to do going forward.
Okay. What positives has the team drawn from the Week 4 matchup?
I think understanding that, you need to continue to play at a high level, not getting excited just by a win and forgetting the basic things that got you there is, something that we'll learn from. And we'll use that to obviously hopefully get better as we move forward this week against Buffalo Grove High School.
Okay, thank you, Coach Sebastian. And next on Week 5 of Prospect Football Weekly, senior defensive back Anthony Burkhardt.
Welcome back to Prospect Football Weekly, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings of Mount Prospect. I'm here with defensive back Anthony Burkhardt. Anthony, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
We have a few questions for you, and the first being, how can the team bounce back from the Week 4 loss to Highland Park?
As a team, we've collectively put that Week 4 loss behind us, and we're looking at Week 5 as a new game, and we're going to take the positives that we learned from Week 4 and the negatives that we also saw, and we're going to continue these last 5 games as a new season.
After this tough loss, what have the defensive backs been focusing on in practice?
Just the fundamentals we've been working on all summer. I think we've had some things that we've struggled with, and we've had some positives, and Coach Don knows what he's doing, and we trust him.
How do you try to be a leader for the team because you're a senior?
At first, it was definitely tough because a lot of the seniors never really led before. We were very young this year going into the season, and I think just leading by example and showing what needs to be done on and off the field.
Absolutely. What players on Buffalo Grove this week is the defense focusing on?
The defense isn't really focusing on any player specifically. We're focusing on the offense as a whole. Football is a team sport. It's one team versus the other. And if the offense can not score any points against our defense, we should be good.
What adjustments will the defense need to make from Week 4 to Week 5 to produce a win?
just a change in attitude. I think week 1, week 2, week 3, we were attacking and we played with an aggressive attitude. And last week we definitely were timid. And I think if we can get back to that attacking attitude, we'll have success.
Absolutely. And what will the team need to execute in order to beat Buffalo Grove?
Just everyone do their job. You just got to trust the game plan. And I think if everyone could do their job, then you could trust the guy next to you. And
What do you feel? You said everyone do their job. What do you feel, in your opinion, is your job?
not get beat on the outside and not get beat deep.
Perfect. That's all we have for Anthony Burkhart. Up next, interview with Miss Gronsky.
Welcome back to Prospect Football Weekly, sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Prospect. I'm here with cheer coach Jackie Gronsky. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thank you.
After making it to state last year, what is the cheer team doing to maintain that success this year?
I think the cheer team's been working harder than last season. They're very motivated, and their goal to make it to day 2 is really showing through.
How has the cheer team changed from last season?
Cheer teams changed a little bit in the sense of team dynamic. I think the girls are pushing each other, handling critiques and criticisms much stronger than they did last season, which is really good to see as a coach.
What is your main goal for this team as head coach?
My main goal for them is to succeed. I think if they're doing their best and they're giving 100% effort, that's the best thing you want to see as a coach, is just them being happy and, of course, making it to day 2.
Aside from competition season, how does the team prepare for football season?
Football season, we take a lot of time working our stunts and tumbling, especially when it's on the track. Safety is a big concern, so we don't want them throwing any skills that they're not ready to.
What activities or preparation does the cheer team do in anticipation throughout homecoming week?
Homecoming week's a big deal. The girls get to perform at the pep assembly, and then they have the pregame performance. They're spending a lot of their time going over routines, making sure things are set for the football players, because we'll go ahead and do things that are special for them, and just making sure the school overall is a good atmosphere.
What do you do as a coach to motivate the cheerleaders to bring school spirit to this school?
I think I'm really lucky. There's not a whole lot I have to do to motivate them. They really enjoy what they do in the sport.
That's all the questions I have for Coach Jackie Gronsky. Stay tuned for Week 5, prepared with Jen Ankeny and Coach Mike Sebastian.
Welcome back to Week 5 of Prospect Football Weekly. I'm joined again with Coach Sebastian to preview the Week 5 matchup against Buffalo Grove. Coach Sebastian, thanks for coming back.
Not a problem.
So what sticks out to you about your Week 5 matchup against Buffalo Grove?
Well, I think it's just the first opportunity to play in the East at this point. It's the first opportunity for us to get a chance to, play for our divisional opponents. These are, you've spent 3 weeks, 4 weeks playing teams that you don't see as much. We don't see the West as much as we used to. It's the last time we'll play in Zale South. We've never played these other 2 teams before in the recent past. So, there's some unfamiliarity to it, which is kind of cool, but also at the same time, you're trying to figure out what people do. Now you're getting into the bulk of the schedule where you have some natural rivalries. You're playing teams that you're used to seeing. There's some good and bad to that. There's some familiarity, which is nice, but then there's also some familiarity, and they know what you're going to do as well. So I think it's just exciting to be able to start the process of playing these teams and figuring out a little bit about, in terms of this general area, where we stand. Okay.
What will be key to containing their junior quarterback who started against you guys last year as a sophomore?
I think we're more concerned about containing the offense as a whole. It's one of those situations where they're a good, football team, just in general. I think their offense is very well run. They have a nice balance between their passing and their running game. The tailback's a very good athlete. He's a load to bring down. The receivers on the edge do a very nice job. The quarterback has got a nice arm to him. He can throw the ball on the run and throw it very accurately, which I think is a big deal. Their line has done a very nice job pass protecting and blocking for them. So I think you're worried about their offense, you're worried about their defense, which has been aggressive and downhill. Their special teams has been very solid. So I think it's just, getting ready to play. We're going to have to play a full team effort and team game for us to, have a chance in this game.
Okay. So as you talked about, their running back, Tommy Trebe, has been a solid performer for them all year. What will it take to stop him in your guys' matchup?
I think aggressively swarming to the tackle is going to be part of it on the offensive end. He is not a kid that, he's 6'2", 215 pounds, 220 pounds. You're not taking him down with one person. There's a poor child at Maine West High School that found out about that really quickly. He is a tough runner. He's a hard runner. He will run through you if he needs to. He can run around you. So, if you're going to try to take him one-on-one and you're not going to have 11 guys rallying to a tackle, you're going to have a long day. We need to be able to have multiple guys getting to the ball carrier to make sure that happens. But I think that's going to be with anybody, to be very frank with you. I think that, would be something that we could have said last week as well. So I think not getting too focused on one guy, though, is going to be important because they have enough weapons that if you focus on one, they're going to hurt you with another.
Okay. What has the team done in practice this week to improve from last week's game?
Well, as of right now, as we're filming this, we've only had one day of practice, and it's been very kind of more mental than anything else. So I think it's really trying to focus on that mental aspect. I'll be interested to see how the next couple of days kind of go for us in terms of how we practice, what we're looking at. I like their mindset going into the week. I think they understand that there's a new opportunity in front of them. I don't think any of us are happy with the start. But the past is the past. The ending is unwritten. So what are we going to do with that ending is really in still our hands. So I think that's the focus this week as practice goes forward.
Okay. So the team suffered a couple injuries against Highland Park, Ryan Traviola, Brendan Keene. How are those players recovering?
I really can't talk about Ryan's situation from a medical standpoint. He's okay, but I don't really want to get into the medical aspect. Keene's fine. He'll play. Okay. But for the most part, we've come out of the first 4 weeks healthy. So, that's good. We're just going to continue to need to work to keep them healthy, and we're trying to monitor how we do things in practice to make sure that we're prepared for Friday. The goal is to get to Friday. Yeah. We don't want to have anything necessarily happen during the week. Okay.
So what is the team's mindset as you enter MSL East play?
Well, I think it's the idea that this is a new season for us. And we've got 5 weeks ahead of us, and we're really focused just on the one that we have, the one that's available to us, and we're going to use that as an opportunity to hopefully get better and be successful. I think they're excited about the fact that they get a chance to challenge themselves against what is a very good football team. So we're looking forward to the opportunity to play here this week.
Okay, thank you, Coach Sebastian. That should do it for Week 5 of Prospect Football Weekly. We'll see you next week.